A little early, the Deputy Prime Minister, Nick Clegg, committed Britain to keep its promises to help meet UN targets. From the United States, Robert Moore
check your Skype. I can't talk.
In the last few minutes, President Obama has arrived at the United Nations. He is under political pressure at home, but today he addressed a global humanitarian failure. Progress, he said, on key targets is just not good enough.
Not for the hundreds of thousands of women who lose their lives every year simply giving birth. Not for the millions of children who die from the agony of malnutrition. Not for the nearly 1 billion people who endure the misery of chronic hunger.
But the truth is that despite billions of pounds more being promised today by the UN to tackle the crisis in maternal and child health, the world is failing to meet its so-called Millennium Development Goals. But at the UN today, laughter and handshakes, despite the almost certain betrayal of the promises made here just a decade ago. Representing Britain is the Deputy Prime Minister Nick Clegg, not just meeting the UN Secretary General, but also mothers and activists who have been travelling in the poorest countries and writing blogs.
And I wanted to ask you, as a father, how do you feel about families and children needlessly dying? And how are you going to make it better?
Gutted.
Good.
The bloggers went to Bangladesh and brought their stories to the UN in an attempt to shame world leaders into action. Mr. Clegg is insisting, even as budgets are cut at home, Britain would not walk away from the world's most vulnerable people.
The promises the United Kingdom has made must hold in the bad times as well as the good. But they are even more important now than they were before. Because we understand that while we are experiencing hardship on our shores, it does not compare to the abject pain and destitution of others.
Charities have called it all just an avalanche of warm sentiment that may in practice be quickly forgotten amid domestic debates on how to balance budgets and cut costs. Robert Moore, ITV News, in the United States.
This year's flu jab is